You smell something?
Hopefully it's not me.
No, that's the smell of victory as it's officially done and dusted. Not a math guy, but even you with your fingers and toes can
We're
count
winners.
that Liverpool
We are
are the
winners.
champions of the Premier
And it feels
League,
tremendous.
doesn't it?
It does.
It's uh it's nice, and this is, I mean, we'll get into it a little bit later on, but this was so much better than the COVID year. No one was going to give us like an asterisk because the season was going to be put on hold. We fucking earned it. We did it in, I think, the maybe like the fifth quickest time with 4 games remaining,
hmm
and it's good to be the king.
It is good to be the king.
You know,
And it's great when the team that you support, week in and week out, gets it done and will eventually get to hoist a trophy.
Yep, that'll be exciting on the 26th, the last match of the day, to be able to see them officially lift that, see the red ribbons on it, which will be the first time in 5 years since it's been blue ever since. So very exciting for that. But other than obviously our team doing what they needed to do, how have you been? What's been going on in your life?
Good. Just been busy. Had April vacation last weekend. Staying busy with house projects. But I guess you can say more pressing and more important was that we got to spend Sunday together
We did.
and watch the game together
We did.
and consume copious amounts of brown liquor.
There's a lot. There's a lot of bourbon consumed, but over
We weren't
over
irresponsible. It was
right,
just
enough to stay even keel
yeah.
to keep the demons at bay
Yep.
and to be able to enjoy what was a very dominant display,
hmm
a great way to solidify that um, league position. So yeah, no, that was great. Um, Although we did, what is it, the following day after, during the festivities,
hmm
we kind of conversed about your ongoings as a coach,
Yep.
and things have been going well after
Yep.
obviously the whole, not well, issues with refereeing, basically not
Yes.
being able to say anything. You said it was a comfortable game. You won 8-2.
Yep. Second game of the season. This was a makeup from the first week.
So
One going away.
yeah, so only a 6 goal
6-goal
differential,
differential because
but
we stopped scoring with about 10 minutes left, knowing that we didn't want to surpass that number.
you still received an,
I got an email yesterday.
yeah.
Demanding like, what did I do managerial wise to like mitigate the scoring, and keep it a fair game? And I am going to refuse to respond to that email because it cost our team no points. Now, if we went 7 goals, we would have been deducted a point in our sectional standings. We could have scored 16 goals.
I remember playing Little League.
Yeah.
It was called the slaughter rule.
Yeah.
But apparently it's now the mercy rule. But slaughter rule was it was 10.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still remember it was like I was down by 10 runs. I was like, I still want to play. Like,
Yeah.
I want to get at bats. Like, who cares?
Right.
I mean, we've talked about this, and this is just a pattern
Yeah.
of just babying these kids and not having them have to deal with difficult situations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't want you to lose by too much because it's going to hurt your feelings. We don't want you to say anything that might be, taken negatively and hurt your feelings. Creating a generation of wusses.
Yeah.
And I cannot stand it.
Well, this team that we beat got beat by 6 goals the previous week too. So they're plus minus differential.
It sucks to suck.
Yeah.
But like
it is what it is. But I mean, we lost our first game of the season. We didn't come out well, but we'll be just fine if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this, you ask?
Oh no.
This is the Fox 40 Sonic Blast. And I'm not going to
No.
I'm not. This will wake everybody up.
Oh my god.
But do you see? It's thick.
It is thick.
It commands respect, and it's got this pretty sweet lanyard. Look, I can get it nice and tight. I can loosen it. That's how a lanyard works.
You want to like just carradine yourself while you coach?
So good, so good. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure you saw it. So, you've been getting very good with the graphics, so you can insert the overall picture right here.
Or
of what it looks like.
Picture is
no. I want it here.
You want it in the
yeah
this space?
Yeah. I sent you a picture.
It's like we're holding it. Do this. Ready? Yeah, like here. I think I can do that.
So yeah,
Get that out of your fucking
okay.
mouth. Okay. Put it away. Put your rape
And that's
whistle
that's my
away.
carrot. That's my carrot top moment.
Nice.
Prop comedy. But yeah, been good, busy. We got the final push for school. Soccer is busy.
Yeah.
But how have you been?
Good. I've been, birds are chirping,
Oh
grass
yeah,
is growing. Keeping busy, yard projects. Golf is starting up this weekend, so mentally
yeah,
sub 70.
yep.
We'll see how it translates once
See how the body works.
once the first swing. But hey, like that's more than half the game, and right here,
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm prepared. So excited about that. Yeah. So again, just kind of keeping busy, doing a little woodworking myself, not to the
Ooh,
extent of you, but just taking bigger sticks and turning them into smaller sticks for walking.
you whittling,
Yeah, a
whittling guy.
little woodland. So been enjoying that. But yeah, other than that, just ready to dive into another exciting topic,
Absolutely.
another glass of wine. Before we do that, as it has been a few episodes, and it's always good to just keep the listeners aware of our various outlets for which they can engage. So vinovolley85 at gmail.com is our email address.
Sure is.
It has been truly a long time since people have written in, but hey, we're still here. We're ready. If you ever want to, reach out, talk to us. There's still, I mean, we've gotten so many one-off listeners from different countries.
Yeah.
Love to hear from any one of them
Yep.
to just be like, how did you find us? What did you think about it? So vinovolley85 at gmail.com.
I think we get some topics coming up that will be very polarizing and would incite some feedback.
We haven't had polarizing episodes already.
There's one in particular that you and I were tossing around that I think will bring some people out of the woodwork.
All right, then. And VinoVolley85 is our Instagram, and then VinoVolley85.wixsite.com/VinoVolley. But unless you have more doings, sayings, wantings,
No, I got a good. I did a slight bit of research.
did you
I
know?
dug down deep,
I mean, the research is kind of
meaning I went to the internet and had to look some things up.
okay. Well, to all our Vino Volleyers out there, it is time to pop those corks, indulge in a healthy pour, and dive stud showing into today's episode. So, Ryan, why don't you tell our lovely listeners the wine we'll be consuming today,
Yep.
and then I will tell them the topic.
We are going to be drinking the Appassimento Rosso by Domini Veneti. Nice Irish name.
Mm.
I joke.
Yeah,
It's an Italian red.
I got it.
This wine is a red blend made up of 60% Corvina, which apparently is like an Italian Beaujolais, which,
Mm-hmm.
50% Corvon. Oh, Jesus. My eyes aren't working.
So they said that's the first thing that goes
Corvignone,
off
sorry.
40.
15% Rondinella and 10% other reds. So we got that going on. It is ruby red color with dense, complex aroma of cherry and vanilla. The palate is full bodied with a long finish and spicy notes, making an excellent wine for pairing with grilled red meat or hard, dense cheeses.
A horde of dense cheeses.
Hard.
Oh, hard.
Yeah. Or a horde, depending on how bound up you want to get.
I don't want to poop for days.
Can I tell you? Sorry. Ryder, my oldest, who is a pretty... He's consistently listening.
Yeah.
Just because we've been super busy, he hasn't listened to the newest episode, which, like, there are things on there that are said that, like, he was almost, like, laugh crying about the part where I said I wanted to fart out my dick. Like, we were in the car, and it was just him and I, and he's like, can you put it on? I want to listen to it. Like, I want to see, how it is. And he was laughing so hard that, like, tears were starting to come down his face. But, that's the magic that we make.
Just the most ridiculous words to come out of his father's mouth.
Yep. Amongst many.
Yeah.
Apparently it's well paired with big, fun food, making an excellent addition to any wine lover's collection.
Interesting.
That is, and that's from, like, the whatchamacallit. It's the main description. So that's what I got for you right now.
All right. Well, the topic was supposed to be we were gonna watch the Doubters to Believers. This
Hmm.
was gonna be kind of like cut into two sections. We were gonna, you know, get into our intro, then break, watch the documentary, and then come back. Well, couple hiccups. One,
Yeah.
the documentary is a 4-part docuseries totaling over 2.5 hours, so we're gonna have to figure that one
Don't
out.
hit that part.
But the bigger hill that we could not climb
Mm.
is that it's just not available in the United States.
Which I don't get.
Media rights, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was like Amazon Prime, but it's like Amazon Prime UK. So anyway,
I thought you said meteorites. I'm like, did they take out a satellite that?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Asteroids, it's Armageddon. Media
Meteorites.
rights.
I got it.
It still sounds the same way now. So anyway, we had to audible and go with a different topic, to which it seemed the perfect time with Liverpool clinching the Premier League on Sunday to kind of just go through and talk about our highs and lows of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Before we do that, though, as I just noticed, first time in a while, we've got the Mike Wall Honesty Hour back in action. Yeah, sit tight. You're in for a treat. So, if you remember last episode, we were talking about various things, and I brought up my pick for one of the biggest tools, obviously, R.I.P. episode 36, Nicholas Hover, and
yes, I remember.
you thought he was English, and I thought he was Italian. We were both wrong.
Yeah.
He is French.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just wanted to clear the air there, and I actually should have done it earlier, but I do have a couple points of order as there have been some doings in the world of soccer.
Oh yeah.
One of the biggest ones is Jamie Vardy announcing that he's leaving Leicester City.
Now,
at first I thought it was a retirement video.
I did as well.
But it's not. He's just his time with Leicester City is up. I think what I feel like that comes to is that he believes, and I think he knows he's only got a few good years left, but I think he believes that he still has what it takes to compete at the highest level in the Premier League. So I wouldn't be surprised if potentially one of the three up and coming teams picks him up, or potentially a team that was really struggling at the bottom as like a cheap buy picks him up. But that is to say, I mean, although we are sad for not having Vardy with Leicester, we are excited at the chance for Vardy to potentially still be in the Premier League, as his shithousery is unmatched and something that we greatly enjoy week in, week out.
His caffeine intake is absurd.
Oh my God, so many Red Bulls.
And then a double espresso like 30 minutes before the game or something crazy.
I forget how many Red Bulls he has.
I think it's 3.
It's wild. His heart hasn't exploded.
Yes.
Or he hasn't put his wife through a wall, which is
not to laugh at domestic violence.
No, his wiener.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. No, I got you.
Grab the world by the haunches and hump it into submission. Kevin De Bruyne not being re-upped by City.
Yeah,
I know that's it's right here for you.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, again, he's another one that I think Aston Villa was one looking to pick him up.
He can't go to the Saudi league. He is far too pale. He is that's just sun poisoning waiting to happen.
I think
that dude's clear.
He's like Larry Bird white.
Yeah.
Which is you think you're but no, there's an extra. That's a different level.
Like he's almost pink. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see where he ends up. But I think he, again, kind of guy who still thinks he's got a little bit left in the tank. Whether he stays in the Premier League, or I think someone said Inter Miami bought the rights to his contract or something. So if he was going to go to MLS, he would be Inter Miami.
Okay.
Wrexham, third year, third promotion to season to the they're now in the championship. So question is, will they make it 4-for-4? I find that they might see that there is a little bit of a gap and it might find it harder, but hey, it's a great story.
Yeah.
They're fun to watch, and so we'll see, but something to keep our eye on for the following season. The next kind of two I have, I believe, are interconnected. The first one is the uncertainty of Ancelotti at Real Madrid. So within the last 24, 48 hours, there was talk that he had already had a verbal agreement with Brazil to become the new national coach. He was going to leave Real Madrid. And then not, 2 hours ago, I just saw that the Real Madrid's owner is blocking his move, won't sanction it. So now, Brazil's like, well, we need a deadline with the World Cup coming up, so they're already potentially moving on to a new coach. Who knows? But all that to say, there's a lot of uncertainty within Real Madrid, and that kind of leads into the Trent Alexander-Arnold speculation. Now, obviously, I shared
Yep.
a tweet with you not too long ago that, and again, take this what you will. I think it's one of those that those who want to believe are going to feed into this because
Mm-hmm.
you want him to stay. But supposedly, well, what we know is that post Tottenham game, John Henry was seen talking to Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
That is
That is a
fact.
fact. Seemed to be an amicable conversation. As much emotion as John Henry can show within his.
That of like a corpse.
Correct. But don't shit on John Henry, okay? He's given us a sustainable system. You look at the teams like Manchester United who spend big and are now fucking just almost relegation zone. I think there's a lot to be said about treating a team like a business and making sure you stay in the black, as well as being able to continually invest and develop. So, anyway, circling back. So the conversation did take place. That is fact. Supposedly were official, I don't know how official you can be, lip readers
Mm-hmm.
that translated the conversation, in which there were several points where John Henry was talking to Trent about doing the right thing, and then as well, like looking to the crowd and having him say, "Tell them." So again, for us, we take that as we hope that means he's going to resign.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the uncertainty with Real Madrid, if Ancelotti's going to leave, it's kind of one of those things like, do you want to go to this team where a new coach is coming in and the previous coach, you may have been his guy, but you're not the new coach's guy. So you're
Right.
going from a team that's winning the Premier League, is only going to get stronger. You have a starting position as a right back, to uncertainty, just by saying it's
grass isn't always greener.
Exactly. So we'll see. And then lastly, watching the first leg of the Champions League, PSG against Arsenal. Obviously, my disdain for Arsenal and my wanting for them to fail, but I will say PSG, I've watched them week in and week out. They are the best team, and they are fun to watch. The way they move the ball was pretty amazing. Obviously, we'll see where it ends up, but a good start for the Frenchmen.
Yeah.
But I digress. So that was kind of some things I wanted to cover. Obviously, circling back in the main topic, we're just going to have a fun day. We're going to talk about our highs, our lows, but just the memories that we have for the season that led us to where we were on Sunday.
Not only mustard and ketchup, but we're going to relish in victory. I'm ready to drink some wine, Mike.
Are you?
Yes.
Good. Why don't you get the glasses this time? It's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Light and body.
I also realized last episode, as I was re-listening to it, I did like
Fucking,
a lot of
oh
huffing.
My God.
Just like,
I was
oh my God.
I was like, well, I can't edit this. I was just like,
I mean, I had like the restrictor plate on. I was
just like,
I was suffering a little bit.
Oh my God.
I gotta get my beak in there.
You were in there. You were just like, I'm not gonna lie, the smell isn't great.
You gave me a warning when I walked in. Like the look on your face, like I don't think it's good.
I opened the bottle and I was just like, did I just fart in this?
That wasn't.
Did I just like Dutch oven this wine bottle?
Oh.
Okay. Much better on the palate.
Yeah.
It is light in body and mouth feel.
It's good. It's got some heft to it in the mouth.
Mm.
I think it's very full flavored. Like
Mm.
it's not
Full
lacking.
flavored, but like always the way I equate it is like a full body to me be like the difference of drinking like the texture of water and the texture of milk in your mouth. Like this is a lighter bodied wine to me.
Less viscous. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I think I made my point. I'm fucking Mr. Science over here. Um it's got
It
a tart, little tart finish.
smells like shoe leather.
It is getting better as it's been sitting. It did they said it was supposed to open up for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're probably. I mean, obviously by the end of the episode we'll be at an hour, so it'll be interesting to see how it's changed. But it is nice. What were the tasting notes again? I'm trying.
Aromas are complex, full, soft with cherry and spice notes. It
Oh,
was
it's not
aged
a
in French oak barrels.
okay.
14% alcohol, which like
Interesting.
super interesting. We should be getting cherry and vanilla aroma. Long finish, spicy notes. That's all I am getting. I will do another search.
All right, I don't get cherry. I mean, I get red fruit, obviously. I'm getting a little bit of vanilla. I'm just getting like tart red fruit. Um, not really getting any like spice, but
No, I mean, a little bit of clove towards the tail end.
hmm.
Yeah, it tastes cherry, vanilla, rich, full, round, soft tannins.
So yeah, shall we dive into this season
Head first.
head first, ass naked, just diving in? I mean, I'm trying to remember now because we obviously, Klopp leaving that was a shock. We
Yes.
were kind of reeling from that, but I gotta say, when we learned that Arne Slot was going to be the coach, I gotta say that I feel like I was not like bounding with confidence, but I was cautiously optimistic that this was the guy they picked specifically for his ability. Like, obviously, Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, the big numbers guy. So like they ran the numbers of certain things like winning possession in the attacking half, and there was a lot of similarities between Klopp and Slot. So I feel like I was. Um, feeling that this was going to be better than I think pretty much every pundit.
Yes.
Like there'll be reels of every like social media outlet being like they're going to finish fifth, they're going to finish sixth, they're going to fuck it up. This is going to be a dark time for Liverpool, and here we are. So I think when we talk about the highs and lows, at least for me, one of them was the first time we faced Manchester City
Hmm.
and we beat them 2-0 handily at Anfield. And that was to go 11 points clear of them and 9 points clear of second place.
Right.
And the reason why I put this as it's like the first high is because that was, if you take it in its entirety, obviously Manchester City for a number of years have been the dominant force, right?
Legally
And,
or illegally.
correct. Well, 115 fractions aside, they've won it 4 years in a row. They've won the Champions League. They've won multiple trophies. And although the Klopp um, Guardiola battles have been legendary, like it's always a tough game. And we beat them again. Them not at their best form, but still, it's Manchester City. They're in the FA Cup final.
Right.
We'll be rooting for Crystal Palace, but there's still a trophy to be won for them. But this was on the back of beating Leverkusen,
Hmm.
who were the Bundesliga champions,
Yep.
Villa, who are in great form, and Real Madrid. Again, not like the Real Madrid you might, but it's still fucking Real Madrid.
Hmm.
So this was where was a point in the season that it could have been knocked down to 7, and we've seen it before that like these gaps don't last, and we've seen City go on like a 14-point run. So for me, that was like I think the first statement where it was like, yeah, we can do this. Like this isn't a fluke. We're here, like we're legitimate, and we can really make a run at it.
Yeah.
So like for me, that was like the first big high, because I think that was like the first when once we got past City, we're just like, okay, yeah, we're in it.
Yeah.
So that's where,
Nice.
yeah.
My first high of the season, I took mine a little different than yours, as
Yeah,
I usually do.
sure.
I went with Mo Salah ripping, tearing, and more importantly, staying. The fact that he was on such an incredible pace, he's probably going to win the Golden Boot.
He's probably going to win the Golden Boot. He still needs, I forget how many assists he is away from tying De Bruyne's 20 assists in a single season. He could potentially break that too. So he
Yeah.
would break the single season assist record.
And like, yes, there is that whole thing of him taking the Christmas photo and then like things go downhill. And like, yeah, there was a slight slide after that.
So there always is, but if you notice, it's when he's fasting.
Yeah, right. Which was another thing that like you kind of forget in the moment, kind of like I did. And then I'm like, oh, wait a second. Like, dude, because they give them clearance, but he can still choose not to. They meaning like
It's,
religiously.
I mean,
Like
it's
there's
up
like
to it's
certain
up to each individual.
exceptions.
I don't think so. I think as his religious practice, he
Yeah.
has to fast, and the only concession is if it's a night game, they'll usually do like a water break at a certain point, so that like they can break their fast and like have like a granola bar or something.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's because like there's, I
I
mean,
think there were some exceptions, but then again, like
I mean, there may be, but I know that he
yeah,
does. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
with everything he does
yeah,
with discipline. So
yep.
yeah,
And the fact that putting up crazy numbers earned himself another contract, and I think it's perfect. Another 2 years, and the dude's still putting up numbers. He's electric to watch, even in games where like he kind of goes missing.
right.
He still always has like some impact on the game. Like he never truly goes missing for an entire
No,
game,
it's
like
one
other
of
people
those.
on the pitch do that I'll mention later on.
It's it's one of those arguments where if he's having a stinker, you're like, do you take him off? But there's one moment. Like all he needs is one moment
Hmm.
to make a difference in the game. So it's like, well, do you keep him in for if he sucks for 89 minutes for that 1 minute of glory?
Right.
And more often than not, especially this season, he's found to be the difference maker. I think we talked about this
Hmm.
on a previous episode that without Salah's contribution, like I mean, Liverpool would have been like down to like sixth or something.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go unnoticed. Um, it's kind of I'll my second one, and speaking on players, is the transformation of Ryan Gravenberg.
That
And
was one of mine as well.
so, and I think this kind of goes into where some people try to discredit Slot and say, well, this was Klopp's team. Like he inherited a really good team. And let's not forget where this team finished the previous season.
Mm.
The fall off that we had. Now you could say players were burnt out, but besides Chiesa,
Hmm.
didn't bring in a single person.
Right.
I mean, there will be nothing that will diminish my love for Jurgen Klopp and what he did for this team. But you look at how Klopp played Gravenberg,
Yeah.
who I'm not going to say a fringe player, but like you weren't saying like this is the absolute number one, like he's going to be starting every game.
Right.
Under Arne Slot, he is, I would say, I mean, besides obviously your Virgil van Dijk and your Mo Salah, he's the number one. He's the first name on that sheet. I
Yeah.
mean, he's played
He's
every single game, and he
yeah.
even said it himself, going from playing like
It's the Dutch
very real.
connection.
Sure. I mean, yes, they are both Dutch.
Yes.
But
Very much Dutch.
it's the way that Klopp played him out on like the wing
Yep.
of a midfield trio where Slot has him is that pivot role within that number 6 role. So I think that was, I mean, it went from like, yeah, this guy's pretty good. Was it? I thought was a good signing for Liverpool to be like, he's probably going to be the next name I get on a jersey because I just watching him when he's at full throttle, those quick turns.
Yeah.
It's been great, and I think
Yeah.
it's been a big reason why this team has been so successful. So I think he validates that Slot's tactical style was different and is a big reason why we are where we are. So
Yeah. He was one of mine as well. He's the gasoline that makes the machine run.
yes,
You don't necessarily see it all the time, but it makes it work.
mm-hmm. For sure.
Gasoline, not like him himself. You understand what I'm saying?
We all get it.
Metaphor.
Metaphor.
Am I up? Is it my turn? We just kind of doubled up.
We did double up, but you want to bring one to the table?
I had.
I'm actually gonna throw some lows in there too, so we don't end on like the lows because I feel like that would be a
Oh
real
no!
downer. Yeah.
I get some lighter lows.
Okay.
So we can end with those if need be. My other high was both Alexis McAllister and the forever handsome, even with the headband, Dominic Szoboszlai, shoring up and solidifying the midfield. And I, for a while there, wasn't understanding what Alexis McAllister brought to the table. And I think in the last couple of weeks, I've seen him for even though he is small in stature, he plays a very aggressive game. And yes, he might give some dumb fouls away. I like the tenacity that he brings to the midfield, especially when he's getting involved offensively.
Right, and I think also kind of circling back to transformation of that midfield,
Mm-hmm.
having Gravenberg be that number 6 where McAllister was last year,
Yeah,
allowed him to be more offensive minded, and we've obviously seen the passes he can play, and more importantly some of the eye catching goals.
yeah.
Couple of low points.
Okay.
And the first one I had was the loss to Nottingham Forest. Because that one was, I wasn't watching the game. I was out playing golf. But that was, that was still a point in the season where it was still new. We had played, I think it was Ipswich, we had played Southampton. We hadn't really played anybody difficult. Now at this point in time, you're 3 or however many games into the season. Nottingham Forest wouldn't have been a top 6 team where you've been like, oh, okay, well, 1-0, it is what it is. Like at that point in time, this was a team that was, kind of bottom half or mid table, like should not have been, especially not at Anfield, like not losing it in your own backyard. So that was like a real low point, and that was one of where you're just like, oh boy, like what are we looking into for the rest of the season? Like, so that was one where it's just, it was the first time I think, I had some pause and just being like, oh no, like my heart,
Yeah.
I can't take it.
I don't know. I even though that was
What,
kind of
you got like a hard on for Nuno?
No. Yeah. He's my dude.
Yeah, I know.
He's getting thin. I wonder if he's on the Ozempic. Don't tell me he's sick.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just feel like he's just
if I
thinned out.
I think I have just like, oh yeah, he called me. He said, don't tell Ryan. I'm dying.
Nuno!
It's like, I love the podcast.
Thanks, Nuno. Yeah, that was one that I contemplated putting on the list, but again, I went a different route. I'll give you a low.
Okay.
Rob
Lowe.
He's another one. He's like at that Paul Rudd thing. Full Stamos, just they don't age.
They don't.
I'm gonna go with. I'll go with an easy one. I'll start light. Again, this is more of an emotional pick. Losing a now jacked Joe Gomez.
Oh my God, he's so fucking ripped.
I just want him to score one goal. If he comes back for one game, if there's a penalty kick, we'll have him take it. You have to let him take a
That
penalty
was
kick.
probably one of my most fondest stretch of the last part of Klopp's reign, was having Joe on the left side while Robbo was injured, and just fucking ripping piss missiles. You were hoping one of them was going to go in, because you just want it for the dude so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
But I agree. Let him take a. I mean, he'd probably miss. It'd just be too much pressure.
Yeah.
But yes, I love Joe Gomez. I've still, when him and Virgil were firing, they were 7 clean sheets in a row. I don't think there's anyone who would want him to succeed more than and I
Right.
still hope he's still 26 or something.
If that,
He's
yeah.
been. I mean, it's just crazy because he's the longest serving. Well, he was the longest serving player under Klopp. So, but yeah, having him be hurt, that was a bummer.
Yeah.
It's just you never like to see it.
Emotional bummer, strategic. I mean, didn't really hurt us lineup wise.
No,
Which, if I could, brings me to an up, which is Virgil and Konate really solidifying, our back line. Konate just being an absolute moose.
I think so. Again, one of those things that goes unnoticed, but we definitely didn't go unscathed when it came to injuries.
Correct.
Jota, but none of them seem to be fitness related. Now, previous season, I think Konate was out 3 times in that season with injuries. So again, kudos to the whatever fitness program and the team that Slots brought in, because stayed very healthy.
Yeah. minus Allison with his yearly hamstring.
But even kind of getting through that. I mean, besides, Gakpo was out, but that was again getting a knock. There's been very few, and yeah, I mean, Konate's been an absolute unit with Virgil van Dijk, so that has been exciting.
Yeah.
I also had, and this was Liverpool adjacent, but it was at a point where we had yet to play Aston Villa, who were on a strong run, and Arsenal were playing West Ham at home. And you would have been like, okay, well, they're going to smoke West Ham.
Yeah.
They're going to put the pressure on. The gap could have been, I'll say down to 5 or something, but could have been really in a pocket where, because Arsenal had games in hand, it could have been a real momentum swing. And boy, did they shit their fucking pants! Oh my God, I watched that game, watching them lose 1-0, go down to 10 men, and no amount of excuses in the world. You just got outplayed, and it was fucking fantastic. I was texting Pat. I was just having a good old time. And one of those things, again, where, when there was the opportunities to take advantage, to kind of put some pressure on it, they failed every single fucking time.
Yep.
I can almost guarantee there was not one opportunity to take advantage of the points gap that they executed. They always absolutely butt fuck themselves.
Yep.
And if I was a smoker, I would just,
oh, so good,
just
so good.
Okay, so I enjoyed that one, and it is one of the highs of the season for me.
Why don't we go to one of your lows as well? Because I have the same.
Is it the Everton game?
It is the Everton one.
Yeah, that one sucked. Because obviously they're crosstown rivals, and it really would have been nice to just rub it in their faces that the last memory they have in that stadium is us coming from behind to beat them, but not to be. I mean, it was a defensive lapse and an absolute rocket from Tarkowski, but on my birthday, no less.
Yeah.
And I think, you called me, and I was trying to play the positive spin, it didn't bother me that much. And then I think I just like got off the phone and was just like, you know what? I am fucking mad. Like this sucks. I was like, this is terrible. So yeah, it stunk. But again, all's well in the end.
That's true.
But yeah, that did suck in the moment. So
I've got two more. We already talked about Trent, so that's kind of like a down that's been lingering.
yep.
You know, possibly leaving. He's unsigned. Is he coming back? That was like a loose down. That was an honorable mention down. I will go with my last down. I'll end on an up.
I'll do that too. So I have one more down, and then I'll
Okay.
end on an up.
Curtis Jones, the turnover waiting to happen. If I see him fucking dribble through a pile of defenders one more time and cough it up, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I've said this over and over and over again. And even my oldest now, he's just like, oh, this guy, Curtis Jones, he'll cough it up. He's like, nope, there it is.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I mean, hey, you don't.
I know.
Preaching to the choir.
I know. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't know what he brings to the table other than like a functional warm body. But even then, like, you keep giving the ball. He is someone who, if he started a game, there are times where I do not realize he is on the field at all for long stretches of time.
It's usually when I'm like, why is this guy holding on to the ball? Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll go. The last one I had was crashing out of the Champions League.
Yeah.
Now, again, you talk about in the grand scheme of things, if someone had said to me, hey, Klopp's leaving, we got this new guy coming in on our slot, and the only thing you're going to be able to take home is the Premier League. Are you happy with that? A bit like, tell me where to sign.
Yeah.
100%. But doing, like, again, we kind of were used to this level of success, and just kind of not realizing
we were rolling for a long while too.
Absolutely steamrolling. And just, again, new format, not really realizing that being number one isn't really as important as it used to be, although they're now talking about changing the format again. Anyway, we came up against, I think, arguably the best team in the entire tournament, who potentially could do us a solid and knock Arsenal out, being one up after leg one, PSG. So, but that one did sting. Out of all, I think even more than losing the Carabao Cup final or losing the Plymouth Argyle in the FA Cup. That one did suck because we were just in a league that's the best of the best. We were top tier. So, so yeah, that was my last negative. I'll end on a good note. Do you want to go with your positive, your last good memory of the season?
I love that Wataru Endo is our human victory cigar.
Oh my god.
Like,
so fucking
he comes
good.
off the bench, slaps the mouth guard in. I'm like, this dude's shutting everything down for the next 8.5 minutes.
Just loves good several technical fouls before he gets the yellow, and then once he gets that yellow, it's just like precision.
Yeah.
No, I love it. He's a great squad guy.
Great squad guy, and in those like early on cup, preliminary rounds, roll him out there. Give him big minutes in those situations, but at the end of games, having him come in and you're like, oh, we are locking this down, shutting it down, and he's going to be an absolute shadow on whomever has the ball. Love it.
That is a great one.
Thanks, man.
Mine was being surrounded by friends and family while watching Liverpool completely outclass Tottenham in a sea of red at Anfield. Because, again, the last time was COVID. I was by myself. People were still wearing masks. The world sucked. To be able to watch them, be able to be the songs to be sung, the flares to be thrown, the chants, everything was just, it made it all worthwhile.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And couldn't have, asked for better company. And so, yeah, that was my highlight. Now, obviously, we've got a couple games left and an official trophy to be lifted, but it was, I think, probably one of the highlights of my sporting memories was that event. So,
yeah, it's a great one. Great one to end on.
Yeah. All right. So why don't we circle back to this wine? I'm not gonna lie, the higher alcohol for the light and body is not filling me with the warm and fuzzies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really like it.
I mean, hey, for every face there's an ass,
Yeah.
right?
For every
As you
seat there's a face, and
continue.
yeah, no, it's something like
Okay.
that.
All
Yeah,
right.
no, it's one of those.
Yeah, it's there. I don't know.
Really, I can't believe I dig it.
You also, I think, are more for a light to medium body than I am.
That is true.
If we've, especially now, I've
Well
I've en-
documented.
yeah, I've enjoyed Italian wines, but if it's going to be 14%, I want more mouthfeel. I want it to be more full bodied, and so it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a little bit more time, see if it opens up a little bit
All right.
towards the end. Um, but yeah, well,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
So on to Un cara que necesita un puñetazo.
See.
And up this week was Celta Vigo.
See.
And I went through this. This one, I felt like this was a hard one. I don't know if you had a
It was a hard one because I've never seen a roster full of so many homely people in my entire life, which I know is like the most shallow thing to say, but I was like, oh my god, this
well,
is
the one thing I would say is you went through the website, and I know if like was the cropping or the background, but they all look like they had pointy ears. Now yours is
I
obviously on the phone is maybe a little bit different,
yes,
but there's just like obviously when we're in the Premier League, there people stand out because of visceral reactions. That's what I kind of went with. So do you want me to go first? Or would you like to go first?
I'll go first because I had an honorable mention, but I think he's since left the club or is part of like their youth program.
Okay.
And that is Cesar Fernandez. And simply because he looks like that douchebag outside of a bar, he's just like, yo, guy, can I grab a butt off you?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
you got a dip, bro? Yeah, I left my tin in my truck. Like, that's what he reminds me of. But go on. You have your pick now.
So again, this isn't. I went with Marcus Alonso, former Barcelona, and more importantly, where some of my hatred was former Chelsea player. Uh,
Oh, no shit.
yeah, and so besides the fact that he was part of Chelsea and I hate Chelsea, he also reminds me of. There he is, Sam
Sam
Worthington. It
Worthington.
reminds you of Sam Worthington. Now,
Interesting.
although Sam Worthington I find to be in some movies that I do enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
he's also in Clash of the Titans, which was a remake of like a childhood and I fucking love Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And that movie stunk.
Yeah.
That
I
movie
haven't
was
seen it because I know
so
it's so bad.
fucking bad on so many levels. And like it just had like it was a time where the graphics were there. You could have really just you could have just remade the original
Yeah.
and it would have been awesome.
Yeah.
And they did their own thing and it was stupid and I've never forgiven them for it. And Marcus Alonso kind of looks like them.
He's
so
getting it.
I'm really punching Sam Worthington's portrayal of Perseus from Clash of the Titans, and then the even worse fucking sequel. They thought it was a good idea to make a second one. I know this has nothing to do with soccer, but it made me really mad,
Hey.
and that's why I want to hit him in the face.
Love the passion you're bringing to the
Looking
table.
like another guy who made a movie I didn't like.
My heart of heart picks is that of Carl Starfelt,
Oh,
who like when you're gifted with a name like that,
yeah,
like you're bound to be famous
he was
in
almost
some way or shape or form because like not for nothing, Carl Starfelt is 100% an adult film name. Yeah. Like he could be nicknamed like the Norwegian Jackhammer. I actually think he's Swedish. Yeah,
he looks Swedish. Yeah.
So this was the picture that I chose. There were a couple of him smiling that I couldn't somehow figure to get here because
He looked like he'd fuck you up.
He's a big guy. He's
Yeah.
he's big.
He's not your short in stature kind of.
No,
Yeah.
but in the pictures where he's smiling, he has this thing about his face that like someone would wake up in like a dimly lit room handcuffed to something and he'd be like, "Oh, there's no need to worry. We're here to play now, little puppet." And you're just like, "Oh, Jesus, I gotta get out of here." Like it's one of those moments. He just has those eyes that just pierce through you. I think it's the Scandinavian.
Yeah, no, those are. I don't like this. I don't do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there you
those
go.
are
That is my pick. It is Carl Starfelt,
okay.
the
Those
Swedish national
those
and
are
possible serial killer.
those are good picks.
We did great.
You know what? We did do great. All right. Well, now that we've wrapped up Una cara que necesito un puñetazo, it is time. Yo,
There it is.
that one.
Which one?
What is he doing? It's just like a grizzle.
He also looks like a Scandinavian Allison.
Don't.
No, uh,
Bad.
you can see it.
Bad. All right.
Or he's a combination of Alexis McAllister and Allison.
Would you stop that? Okay. I don't want. Okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
Now that we've wrapped that up, it is time to pick the team for next episode. Have we done Athletic Club?
I don't think we have.
Apparently, they're fourth in La Liga. So,
I don't think we did.
oh, and they're the team that Manchester United will play in the Europa League semifinal.
Yeah, run
sure.
it.
Athletic Club will be the team. And so now that we've got that wrapped up, why don't we give our final thoughts and score on the wine, and then we will reveal the wine and topic for next episode. You can go first.
I'll go first. I sneaky like it, and it's actually not sneaky because I'm telling you. I'm not just like secrets. Like I'm shooting somewhere in the eights on this because I like a wine that you can drink like all day. It's a little bit lighter.
Yeah, but it's
Sippy sip.
14%. Like I can.
Yeah, but see, when I'm home, if I'm cooking, I'm not doing glasses. I'm doing like mouthfuls. So like as I'm cooking, I'd be like sip sip.
I mean, hey,
cheese
again,
cheese.
You know, we don't have to agree. Everybody's different.
I'm gonna go 8-2.
I'm gonna go 7-1.
Okay, understandable.
Yeah.
You want more from it. You want more mouthfeel.
For 14%, I want full bodied. I want thick. I just want. I don't know. I just want more. Like
Yeah.
if I'm going 14%, light in body and mouthfeel is I feel like I'm being cheated. I think the flavor is fine. I find it tart, and I couldn't do more than this glass of it. So
Okay.
it's just not for me. It's not what I enjoy, but everybody's different.
Heart wants what the heart wants.
It does. Now that we've given our final scores on the wine, it is time to talk about the wine we will be drinking next week and the topic. So, Rye Guy, why don't you enlighten our lovely listeners on what we'll be having?
We're going to enjoy a 100% Tempranillo red wine from
Fuck yeah.
España. That has been aged in American oak barrels.
Okay.
Yep. The label is very interesting, and I don't want to give too much away. White label with gold and black, real sharp. I'm going to read a quote from the front of the label. You ready?
Oh, I was born ready.
I feel like I need like movie. Like it's like
dun dun dun.
No, not that one. Like boom boom. Like for 17 years, 125 men in the dark and a silence only broken by the sound of their hammers and chisels. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Were able to be victorious in their battle with the rock and create this wonderful wine cellar. So it is an underground wine cellar made over 17 years with the hands of 125 men.
That's pretty cool.
España.
And there it is. And he's back. All right. So yeah, looking forward to drinking that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely a fan of Tempranillo, so going to be excited to try that next episode. Fuck yeah.
15%.
Hell yeah. All right. And you know what? Rye seemed to be very gung ho when we were talking about different topics. So we're going to be doing the evolution of soccer equipment and technology. Because Rye
Yeah.
gets a fucking stiffy thinking about the evolution of like the soccer ball.
Oh,
So
so many stitches.
in that we'll talk about the
Oh,
evolution.
fuck.
Talk about the evolution of the soccer ball, cleats, and any other type of equipment slash
Oh,
technology that we think has been exciting in the game.
call me the Sandman because I'm going to lull you to sleep with goalie glove technology.
Oh my god. So now that we've got that, I would say we would love to keep going. But after VAR review, I don't want any more wine, but Ryan does.
I would.
But in that, we must put the final cork in this episode and say, listen to us next time on another exciting episode of Vino Volley. So, Rye, do it.
Folks, as always, remember to sip and soccer responsibly. We bid you a Freddy adieu.